Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds.
Recently, I asked Mint Mobile's legal team if big wireless companies are allowed to raise prices due to inflation. They said yes. And then when I asked if raising prices technically violates those onerous two-year contracts, they said, "What the f*** are you talking about, you insane Hollywood ass?" So to recap, we're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month.
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Oh, sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. Join the conversation, that is. If you want to watch a broadcast, go to Reaver.one. That is REAVER.ONE. Click on the live stream. If you like the live stream, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and keep up to date. If you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one. Click on the Reaver store. We have t-shirts, coffee mugs, a lot of items that I can't name them all. Go there, look around, check it out, pick up a shirt or two. All the money gets put back into the show. So yesterday, it's been a couple rough days. I mean, I'm sick and tired of the Democrats. They're a joke to me anymore. I have lost all respect for them. And I mean all respect. They sat around yesterday in the Senate filibustering, what they called a filibuster, till there was a vote done on this joke of a no-fly list. If you listened to the show last night, Southside Mutt Show. Hi, Jenna. I kind of lost my temper, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the politicizing terrorist activity so that they can try to disarm us, instead of us paying tribute and talking about the victims. No, I got to sit here and fight against the idiotic that is the Democrat Party. Because if I didn't and other shows didn't fight against it, they would get the gun bans that they want, and that's all they want. And this whole shit that's going on in the United States in the attack, I read it last night. I'm going to read it again. Chris Perantu had a few things to say, and I think it fits. It fits. And it goes on that it has nothing to do with the weapons that were used. It has to do with the ideology involved with the attackers. Whether he got trained in the States or his ideology online, the weapon system makes no difference at all. And he goes on that if you would have been in the nightclub with an M4, M16, he would have been able to shoot the guy before he killed 49 people. The media is trying to demonize the weapon in the name of gun control. Look at the weapon system is a tool like a hammer. And a side note, more people are killed by hammers, murdered by hammers, than they are by AR-15s. It's like anything else in the wrong hands. It can be used to protect people in the right hands. In the wrong hands, it's a weapon. It's a hammer. In the right hands, it can be used to protect. It's not a military gun, people. Chris went on, in every one of these countries where there are terrorists, they have guns. He has been to areas and seen what the jihadis are capable of. And they may be armed with AK-47, but it's their belief system and ideology that kills people. AK-47s don't fire itself. He wanted to say that this terrorist went after a group that he knew was going to be an easy target. He does not get why liberals keep spinning this into gun control issue. Maybe it's because the president can't say it. This is terrorists killing innocent people. He would have got that gun in any way. Chris has been around it in Benghazi and elsewhere, and he has had to kill terrorists. It's always the ideology that drives them to squeeze the trigger and strap a bomb to their chest. So we need to wake up and figure this out, or there will be more attacks, and there will be more tragedies like Orlando. We need to have armed security in these places. He'd more than gladly stand at a door with a gun. He did it for 10 years. It may make people uncomfortable in the club, but guess what? You're going to go home alive. And then he went on to talk about the politicizing of Orlando, and it pisses him off. It's less than human. The reason being is because people died that night. That's where the focus needs to be. So we need to look at what took place and mourn. It's time to heal. And making such a tragedy all about blaming the weapon is disgusting. Anyone trying to use it for political gain is worthless. A leader does not go on TV and politicize. They take a breath, they go in the back room, and they figure out exactly what happened. Then Perantu went on to say what he wants the liberal media to know more than anything. As the media is demonizing the weapon system in Orlando, they have no idea that if they were under attack, the same people they demonize would pick up a gun. Those same people would pick up a gun and stand in front of them and take a bullet. And we would try to take down as many bad guys as we could, even if we were outmatched. And Chris Perantu has already done that once in his lifetime. And he did it for 13 hours. So I believe him when he says those types of things. In the Senate yesterday, the Democrats wasted a day trying to do a filibuster, which they demonized. If you remember, Rand Paul did one a couple of years ago, and they demonized it. It should be removed. Nobody should be doing it. But it's okay when they do it. They can justify it. How come it's okay for them, but not for anybody else? We have the ACLU attorney blames Christians for Orlando jihad attack. American Civil Liberty Union attorney Chase Strango took to Twitter to chastise Christians for the shooting massacre by jihadist terrorists at a gay nightclub in Orlando, Florida. This idiot tweeted, "You know what is gross? Your thoughts and prayers in Islamophobia after you created this anti-queer climate." We didn't create the terrorists. Your master, Obama, created them. This is what they do. They kill gays, you dumb fuck. He went on to tweet again, "You know what is gross?" Wait a minute. Sorry, it's a repeat. The next one is, "I spent my life fighting Christian homophobia while being loved and supported by Muslim family. Fuck your take on an entire religion." We are not pointing at an entire religion, you closed-minded, dumb fucking piece of shit. Yeah, I saw the love from the Muslim religion Saturday night, early Sunday morning. We saw the love. We see the love out of the Middle East from the Muslim religion as they throw gays off of the top of a building. This is the true. This is why they've been backing the Muslims, because they are attacking everything America stands for on the inside, and pieces of shit like this are a part of the terrorist group. These people are just as culpable as the terrorists themselves. They may not be pulling the trigger, but they are helping these terrorists. And a piece of shit like this Chase, the ACLU attorney, in my opinion, he is helping them by putting out these false statements, outright lies. Strango also attacked the Christian right for legislation, which he termed an anti-LGBT bill that seeks to protect the conscious right of individuals and business owners. He then tweeted, "The Christian right has introduced 200 anti-LGBT bills in the last 6 months, and his people blaming Islam for this." Well, you jackass, uneducated, dumbass motherfucker. Who else are we supposed to blame? He was an Islamist terrorist. Are we supposed to blame the Jews for it? You fucking idiot. Making excuses for the killers. And that's what these people are doing. You are making excuses for the killers. You are helping them commit these crimes time and time and time again. And nothing gets done. Why? Because you keep helping them. And these Democrats, piece of shit people, lower than lowlifes, these ACLU members, They're going after Republican lawmakers because there was a moment of silence and said a prayer for people who died. The twisted and disgusting terrorists are all intertwined in our everyday life now. The ACLU is more willing to stand up for terrorists than the Americans. Our Democrat senators and House representatives, well, they're just as culpable. They're trying to disarm the American people to make it easier for these attacks. They blame everybody and anybody but the attackers. They make excuses for the attackers. We have traitors sitting in Capitol Hill. Traitors. They would rather stick up for our enemy than stick up for the American people. We have a traitor in the White House. As we'll discuss later, he's more pissed off at Trump than he is against the shooter. He is a traitorous piece of shit. I am tired of playing patsies. I'm tired of playing games with Democrat terrorists. Especially when I call my representatives and they hang up on me because... And here's the funny part. I'm not alone now. I know I'm not because I have heard other stories of people being put on the no-fly list and haven't done nothing. And it's taken parts of acts of Congress to remove them from no-fly list when they never committed a crime in their life. There was no due process for these people. The Democrats want to skip due process. They don't care that there's innocent people that are going to be convicted and thrown on this list. And when the Republicans object to it, because there is no due process, and innocent people will be convicted, they run out in front of the cameras and they lie and tell everybody how we don't give a shit about anybody. We want to see everybody dead when they are the people that are the terrorists. Democrats are now no better than these terrorists with the way they act anymore. They would rather protect these extreme terrorists than protect the American people. What else am I supposed to call them when that's what they do? They made excuses for the Sarnik brothers. They made excuses for the San Bernardino shooters. They made excuses for that gentleman, shouldn't call him a gentleman, the guy who cut off his co-worker's head. They make excuses for this terrorist attack in Orlando. So you tell me what they are. If they are helping cover up and helping protect these terrorists, what do you call them? And right now, you got one of those terrorists out on C-SPAN running her mouth, trying to blame a gun for this whole issue, not the terrorist ideology. I don't care whether he was born here, born on goddamn Mars, Venus, Uranus. His religion pushed him to the extreme. Period. See what this broad has to say. Oh, yeah, now it's gone from 30 a day. Now they're screaming it's 90 a day get killed. 90 people get killed a day. The lies that they have to spread to get anyone to believe them, they have to lie and go to the extreme to get anyone to back them. Because no, it's not Warren. I've never seen her before and they don't have a name up. But she has to lie. 90 people get killed a day. No. No, they don't. They want to disarm the American people. They are showing it. They are screaming it. And people are dumb enough to buy into it. I'm dumbfounded. Feinstein's up there. And the jackass that did the quote-unquote filibuster, Christopher Murphy from Connecticut. I want to know how these fucking jackasses keep getting elected. What the fuck are these people drinking? And I would be embarrassed, as I am about Bill Nelson. I am embarrassed that he is my representative. I wouldn't let him represent my dog's shit. His staff don't know what the Constitution is. They are traitors to this country. And I should have recorded the conversation that went on. Especially when their staff hung up on me. Because some woman decided to tell me what I did and did not do. Somebody that doesn't know me telling me they know exactly what I did and did not do. This is the type of stuff that sometimes I just want to find. I wish I was rich, buy my own island, get the hell away from the death of this country. More and more people buy into this bullshit because they don't research the information. They're happy getting spoon-fed by the politicians. They're happy being spoon-fed crap and thinking it's a gourmet meal. We now have Mitch McConnell, the great Republican Senate leader, and people are so worried that Donald Trump says that he wants to speak, have a meeting with the NRA, and talk to him about the no-fly list. Oh, my God! Lambaste Trump! But don't lambaste the NRA that said they support that terrorists should not have weapons. They've supported that since day one, and there should be a bill to stopping them from getting guns. Oh, we're going to ignore that because, he's not running for president. Let's ignore the fact that Mitch McConnell, the Senate leader, said yesterday he is willing to look over and do a assault weapon ban. But we're going to ignore that because he's not running for president, because the candidate said that he is willing to talk with the NRA to try to come to some kind of deal. Yeah, let's ignore the ones that are willing to do it and the one that says that, hey, let's just have a conversation. And yet, we're going to ignore the Senate leader who is the one that could push a bill through the Senate, an assault weapons ban he can help push through. Nah, He's nothing. We'll ignore him. He's nothing. And that's exactly what I was told by a person. You are listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio and ICRN Network. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cow for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. Hang on one second. It just, I'll do that one later. I got to calm down. I'm pissed. Cory Booker's on C-SPAN. He was running his goddamn mouth. These dumbass Democrats, first they're trying to walk all over the Second Amendment, and they're walking all over due process. And that's what they want to do. They want to do away with due process, convict people of crimes that they had never committed, keeping them from owning any protection, and never knowing that they can't get protection until they go and get it. There is thousands and thousands of Americans that are on that no-fly list. Do you know why they bring up the no-fly list, people? Because it's supposed to be only terrorists on it. Oh, my God, everybody should agree that terrorists shouldn't own weapons, and they run out there and they say that, don't they? But I bet most of you didn't know that there's thousands of Americans that are on that no-fly list. And I can give one example right away. My brother, because his name, he's on the no-fly list. And these Democrats are either they ignore that or they're too stupid to realize what's going on. Because when I called to complain about these dumbasses going up there and lying and pushing on constitutional laws, oh, that doesn't happen. That does. Yes, it does. And they're so shocked. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Well, you know what? Right now you got Blumenthal holding up a box with a rainbow on it that says disarm hate. Well, I'll tell you what. Stop supporting your Muslims. Because that's what Muslims do. They kill gays. They throw them off roofs. But you keep wanting to support them. The Democrat Party does. They want to bring in more Muslims into this country. The Democrat Party wants to do that. The Democrat Party for the last 7.5 years have been flooding this country, not knowing who's who. In fact, they let the father in of this terrorist who is a pro-Taliban. But yet they want to blame the Republicans and the Christians and everybody else when they are the ones that are pushing to get these scumbags in the country. Because we cannot tell right now who is a decent Muslim and who is a terrorist. But it was okay for the Democrats several times throughout history to stop Muslims from coming into the country, most recently in the late 70s. Jimmy Carter. He stopped Muslims from coming in this country. He stopped all from Iran. And they deported ones that were here. That was okay when they did that. Now, they are out to destroy the United States. Plain and simple. I can't think of anything else why they're doing all this bullshit. They're trying to disarm Americans. They're doing away with due process and bringing in more of these terrorists to kill us. You tell me. I can't, nobody has given me a reasonable and logical answer to all this. Why would these so-called Americans back our enemy? And yes, right now I don't know who is and who isn't when it's coming in from Syria, Libya, and all those areas that are high terrorists. So right now all of them are my enemy. I don't know who they are. I don't trust them when it comes to my family. I don't trust most Americans when it comes to my family. And no one should be trusting when it comes to your family. And it comes at no surprise that Senator Cory Booker's up there pushing lies, pushing disarmament, pushing, bringing in more of these terrorists. He comes from New Jersey. I lived in that state for 30-some years. Yeah, I understand just how much of a anti-American state that is. It ought to be New Jersey, the communist state of America. New Jersey, the anti-American. Why do they have to lie to get their point through? Why? Because the actual facts do not push or do not back what they have to say about guns. We're at an all-time low on gun violence. All-time low. But yet they're trying to disarm us. We're at a record high of ownership and a record low of violence. Oh, they don't talk about that. I got to get onto some other subjects because this is one that I'll keep going at because I'm very vigilant about the Second Amendment. And it pisses me off when people are going after everything and, oh, Trump's just as bad because he wants to talk to the NRA, but they ignore a Republican Senate leader talking about banning and quote-unquote assault weapons. That's just people that have a fucking hard-on for Trump and can't get it through their head that he's not this evil bastard that they think he is. No more nice guy. No more nice guy. I know some people are going to be like, you've been nice. No more nice guy. No more trying to play, the political person and, maybe there's reasons. No, there is none. These people are out to kill us. These Democrats are out to kill the American dream. The Democrats are out to end America. I don't know what would possess them to be so fucking stupid. Have you ever noticed these jihadists never attack any of the political figures? They only attack civilians. And then our political people do nothing about it. They don't give a shit. They go up there and they got the fake tears. They put that, oh my God, we've been attacked. No, you don't give a fucking rat's ass about any of us. But I'll tell you what, one of their families get attacked, you sure as hell will see our government step up real quick. I'm not advocating for anybody to be attacked, but you know what? Why is it always just the civilians that are getting killed anymore? This is a worldwide question. Why are only civilians? These jihadists have problems with the government, but they only attack the civilians that have not a lot to do with the government. And now there's a really scary bit of information coming out. There's been a whistleblower, and he claims DHS scrubbed records that might have prevented Orlando and San Bernardino attackers. As we continue to learn details about terror attacks that took the lives of 49 people at a popular Orlando nightclub, we're now learning that the attack might have been preventable. A whistleblower from the Department of Homeland Security has come forward to claim that the department scrubbed records that tied Muslims to terrorism, records that might have prevented the attacks in both San Bernardino and Orlando. Philip Haney was a founding member of the DHS, beginning his work for the department in 2003. His job, as he explains it, was connecting the dots between individuals and organizations and networks across the country that may have had ties to terrorism. In 2009, 6 years into his tenure with the department, Haney claims critical information about the U.S.-based Muslims with terror ties, which represented years of painstaking work, were deleted from the DHS records. It was directed from DHS headquarters. It's important to keep in mind that this was 1 year after the November 2008 Holy Land Foundation trial, the largest terror trial in American history, that irrefutably proved that the individuals from the Muslim Brotherhood front group were in direct financial support of Hamas. And a side note, let's not forget that the Muslim Brotherhood are now sitting on top of all our top agencies. They got their hands at people put into the Department of Justice. They're into the FBI. They're into the Department of Homeland Security, NSA, all of those places. And they sit on Obama's little powwow every morning. There's some of the main people that are in the room with Obama. The Muslim Brotherhood. And this group has been proven to finance terrorists. Up until Obama, they weren't allowed on American soil. Then we wonder why. We keep getting attacked and keep disarming people. It was also during this trial that the Council on American Islamic Relation, CAR, the Islamic Society of North America, and the North American Islamic Trust were named as unindicted co-conspirator in funneling money to a terrorist organization, Hamas. According to Haney, orders to purge DHS records came down shortly after President Obama took office in 2009 and then again in 2012. These are not the first time these accusations have been put out there. This is the first time we have someone directly from DHS that was responsible for those records. We've had organization after organization that has told they've been to back off on investigations. They've been told to wipe records that had to deal with profiling or investigating. We have been told that organizations were told to stop investigating terrorist activities in certain mosques. And it all comes directly from the president. The Democrat Party is in bed with the evil that is destroying this country. Hillary Clinton is in bed with those same people. She claims that she's for the LGBTQ community. Well, how many billions of dollars has she gotten from countries that kill gay people? That rape is legal? Beating your wife is legal? You don't need consent to get married? You don't need consent from the woman to be married? But she sits out there and says that she is a supporter of LGBT. She is a supporter of women. The Democrats scream it from the top of their lungs, but they back all these Middle East countries. So, how is it? She says she's against Wall Street, but takes all the money from Wall Street. Democrat Party is just the front anymore for the terrorism that is attacking the U.S. They have not done anything to try to protect this country since the days after 9/11. And I don't know why we as a nation have been putting up with it. We're putting up with our own destruction, people. This last attack has pushed me to I'm tired of it. I've questioned and wondered about some of these statements I'm making today, and you know what? The Democrat Party is the one that keeps fueling and giving me the information. They're the ones that keep stacking the evidence against them. This whistleblower believes that both the San Bernardino and Orlando attacks could have been prevented had the purge not occurred. In the case of the San Bernardino, Saeed Farouk and his wife, you had identified that the mosque as a place you believe we should have been paying attention to. Sean Hannity asked Haney, and he said, yes, there's an entire network of those kinds of mosques across the United States, and I found out a couple days ago that the mosque in Fort Pierce is also related to the same network. But we're not allowed to watch them anymore for fear of, we're profiling. We might upset them. The San Bernardino attack was particularly preventable, according to Haney. Either Saeed Farouk would have been put on the no-fly list and not allowed to travel, and his pending fiancée would have been denied a visa because of his affiliation with an organization with plausible ties to terrorism. That's at least two different ways we could have stopped it. How about the fact that this new terrorist attack in Orlando, his wife just came in from the Middle East? Could we have another one where the female is the one that radicalized the husband? We now have a Muslim in the DHS Advisory Committee saying that 9/11 changed the world for good. In the wake of the barbaric attack in Orlando, many conservatives are calling into question the Department of Homeland Security's tactics in fighting extreme Islamic terrorism, and rightfully so. The Daily Caller reports that less than 1 week before the Orlando massacre, the Homeland Security Advisor Council Subcommittee on Countering Violent Extremists submitted a distributing report to the DHS Secretary. The report tells DHS to use language that would be to not use language that would be disrespectful to Muslims and to use American English rather than religious charged terminology such as jihad and Sharia. The report also recommends that Homeland Security adapt to the changing nature of violent extremists itself by devoting more attention to anarchists, sovereign cities, and white supremacists and others, according to the Daily Caller. As if this isn't disturbing enough, we have Muslims in these positions telling our top agencies to stop looking at the Islamic terrorism, to turn its back on the extreme Muslim terrorism, while we're getting attacked by extreme Muslim terrorism. When is the government going to look upon itself and say, holy shit, we have been infiltrated? Lincoln said it best. We'll never be destroyed from the outside. We'll only be destroyed from the inside. And these Muslims have learned that. And they have infiltrated our government. The Daily Caller reports that one of the members on the advisory council is a 25-year-old Syrian immigrant named Leah Alawa. And Alawa has a history of questionable anti-American and anti-white statements on Twitter, including saying that 9/11 changed the world for good. More recently, she tweeted, the U.S. has never been a utopia unless you were a straight white male that owned land. Straight up, period. Go home. Shut up. She also said the only idiots believe that America is the best nation in the world. And this person has an advisory position within the Homeland Security. We have been infiltrated, people. And I'm going to tell you right now, voting Hillary is following that path further down the rabbit hole. Trump may not be the best candidate, but at least he's willing to clean house. He's willing to turn the ship around. He's willing to try to straighten this country out. If we have Hillary, kiss America goodbye. Plain and simple. Because we're not going to have to worry about attacks from the outside. We're going to have a government that's going to be attacking its own people. We're going to have a government that is going to do away with the Constitution. And we've seen the start of it. She has said it. She has made the statement that all of our constitutional rights can be regulated by the government at their disposal. How much more evidence do we need? She says she's going to do away with the Second Amendment. She's going to shut down NRA. They blame the NRA and turn it into a monster organization. But they have no problems with Michael Bloomberg doing the exact same thing on their side. The one thing that Democrats do have, and I said it before, is they do have a better PR department. The Republicans better get their fucking ass in gear. Because this infighting, this trying to be political correct, and we've been infiltrated, and I'm not talking Trump. Look at fucking Paul Ryan. The man has fooled all of us. He is no better than the Democrats. We have Mitch McConnell sitting there saying he's willing to bow down to the Democrats and put an assault rifle ban in place. And it was already proven through the FBI stats that upon the first assault weapons ban, gun violence skyrocketed and has since fallen to an all-time low since the ban was lifted. And I don't know what the Democrats are thinking. Because look throughout history. Every time they have pushed gun control and banning guns, what happens the next election? They lose. I know these polls are showing Hillary's in the lead, and I've talked about that. I see online polls, and all polls are able to be manipulated. But I see polls where Trump's up 50 points. But then I see these other polls. And don't tell me that you can't manipulate it easily just by calling certain demographics that you know are going to be pro-Hillary areas to get the results that you want. We see it all the time. They don't care how off they are now. When it gets closer to November, closer to election, we'll see how the polls actually turn out. I don't know. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying confident, stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. And some days just can't be done. We've expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com, click on the chat room button, join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast, that's easy. Just go to Reaver.one. That is REAVER.ONE. It's funny, yesterday getting that address out to someone, they went, .com? No, .one. Because there's only one Reaver of Common Sense. And it's funny, I see a couple other shows popping up of, we're trying to make common sense out of today. And it's just, I kind of laugh because it's flattery is, or imitation is a flattery. And lastly, if you want to support the show and support SHR Media, hell, if you just want to buy a Reaver of Common Sense t-shirt, which I think everybody should be wearing one. And I do have my pro Second Amendment shirts in the store. Just go to Reaver.one, as I've said before, and go to the Reaver store. There is what I think is one of my best articles. If you want to know how I got to my pro-gun stance, go ahead and read that article. It's on Reaver.one. It's a rough day, I'll tell you that. It's been a rough week. It's instead of mourning and celebrating the lives of those lost in another terrorist attack, I got to defend the Constitution. I got to defend our right to protect ourselves. And I'm going to tell you right now, I do not agree with everything Trump says, because he also made the comment about if a couple people were carrying a gun in the bar. And I am 100% pro-gun, but I do not believe if you're going to be drinking, you should have a gun on you. Guns and alcohol do not mix. But it also goes to show that a gun ban, a gun-free zone, time and time again shows that that's where the easy targets and that's where the terrorists, the nut jobs, everybody's going to go to commit those heinous acts. So your gun bans don't work. But at the same time, we should not be having a bunch of drunks carrying a gun. And it's not that I don't think people should have the right. You're going into an altered mental state. I don't think you should have. You shouldn't have it. I'm sorry. I agree with the no guns in bars. I do. So I disagree with Trump on that. I've worked at plenty of bars, and I've seen people when they get drunk and the stupid decision makings that they make already. But trying to take the ability for people to get guns away. And don't come at me, well, you for Terry's getting guns? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. And I hate to tell you that no fly list, no gun list wouldn't have stopped this incident, because he was taken off of the FBI's watch list. He was not on a no-fly list. So he still would have been able to get a gun. That's the problem. Everything that these Democrats keep pushing and pushing and pushing, well, hate to tell you, folks, it wouldn't have stopped any of it. San Bernardino attackers got their AR-15s illegally. They got it through a straw purchase. And don't tell me if we ban AR-15s in the United States, we won't have them in the United States because they'll come across borders. Then what are we going to do? What happens when you ban stuff? We've tried it with drugs. Has it worked? We tried it with alcohol, and it created the mobsters. It's not going to work with the guns either. It's not working for Britain. It's not working for Australia. It sure as hell did not work in Paris, France. Did it? They are so anti-guns that the police that do carry guns, when they get off shift, they turn their gun in and go home unarmed. How'd that work out? Innocent people are being killed. That's how it worked out. Our politicians aren't smart enough to see all this. They want to disarm the American people, and that's all they see, and they see opportunity to do it. Our so-called commander-in-chief has put people of terroristic ties into high places. Now, why would our commander-in-chief endanger us like that if he wasn't out to help those groups? Tell me. Answer me that question. Don't just go, well, no, our president would never do that. Tell me why he would put these people that are endangering our people into position if he wasn't out to help. How come he cannot say those words when, don't tell me he says that words don't matter, because in 2008, he talked about how words matter and how I have a dream was such profound words ever spoken. And now he reverses and says words don't matter. So which is it? Because words do matter. And how you say those words matter. Because if you come at me and say, I'm going to kick the fucking shit out of you, I'm not going to laugh. I'm going to take that serious. But you're going, I should kick the shit out of you. I'm going to laugh with you. Because, well, those words matter. And how you say them matter. And another thing that makes me wonder just what Obama's actual ideas are is he's more pissed at Trump than he is at the shooter. The terrorist that killed 49 Americans, the president's not angry at. But he's angry at Trump for forcing him to say radical Islamic terrorism. Trump can't be that much off because, well, he got Hillary saying it now. He got Obama to say it. None of our other Republican leaders could get Obama to do something he didn't want to do. Trump got him to do it. But Trump responded to President Obama's criticisms over the refusal to say the words radical Islamic terrorism during his campaign rally Tuesday night in Greensboro, North Carolina. He said, I watched President Obama, and he was more angry at me than he was at a shooter, and many people said that. Trump told at least 5,000 supporters at the Greensboro Coliseum complex that the anger he should have for the shooter and these killers that shouldn't be here. This one horrible savage, look what he did in a short period of time, Trump said, of the Orlando terrorists who killed nearly 50 people, as we all know, inside a gay nightclub, implying that it doesn't take a large number of radicals to do damage. A number of these immigrants have hostile attitudes towards women, he added, while discussing the increasing amount of immigrants coming into the United States from Afghanistan, who overwhelmingly support Sharia law. How does this type of immigration make our lives better in this country? If Trump gets elected, he says we are going to be fair. So straight down the middle in terms of justice, but we aren't going to let people take advantage of us. We're going to go to the movie theaters. We're going to go to airplanes. We're going to lead our lives like we're supposed to lead our lives. He focused on criticizing Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton talks about women. She plays the woman card more than any human being I've seen in my life. And frankly, I don't even think women like her from everything I see. And yet she's taken $25 million from certain countries that treat women horribly. Countries that kill gays. How about Hillary and Bill give that $25 million back to the countries we're talking about? Crooked Hillary, which is what she is, wants to increase these immigration numbers very substantially. She's no friend of women. She's no friend of LGBT Americans. How can you be a friend when you take tens of millions of dollars from foreign countries, when these countries are oppressive to LGBT, when they're oppressive to everybody? We can't be led by weakness, ineffective people. Believe me, Hillary Clinton, weak, ineffective. She has 550% more immigrants she wants to come and then Obama from a certain area where we just don't know what's going on. We don't know who they are, where they're coming from. There's no documentation. We want to live in a country where gays and lesbian Americans and all Americans are safe from radical Islam. Trump also referenced his recent removal of the Washington Post press credentials at his events. We just took the press credentials away. I love it. We took the press credential away from dishonest Washington Post. And he said, why should I have people following me around, sitting up there like big shots, and they write untruthful stories? Well, the left is land-basing Trump on that, but they don't say nothing where Carr ejected Breitbart news reporter before anything even started. He didn't even ask a question. He was ejected. It's okay that these terroristic Muslim kicks out journalists. But when Trump does it, it's an issue. The Muslims kicked out an American journalist. Trump kicked out an American journalist. Big fucking deal. And they're trying to say his numbers are not correct. But political fact, which is very left-leaning, says Trump is right. Hillary Clinton supports a 500% increase in Syria refugees. Political fact, the left of center mainstream media fact checker has some bad news for Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump was right when he said Hillary Clinton wants a 500% increase in Syrian refugees in his Massachusetts, New Hampshire speech this past Monday. Each year, the United States permanently admits more than 100,000 immigrants from the Middle East and many more from Muslim countries outside the Middle East. Our government has been admitting ever-growing numbers year after year without any effective plan for our security. In fact, Clinton's State Department was in charge of admission process for people applying to enter from overseas. Having learned nothing from these attacks, she now plans to massively increase admissions without a screening plan, including 500% increase in Syrian refugees. This could be bigger version of the legendary Trojan horse. People, we can't let this happen. Clinton is out. Her plan is to admit hundreds of thousands of refugees from the Middle East with no system to vet them. Nothing to prevent the radicalization of their children. The burden is on Hillary Clinton to tell us why she believes immigration from these dangerous countries should be increased without any effective system to screen who we are bringing in. Political Fact searched through some of Clinton's previous statements on the issue and found, this gem. During a September 20th appearance on CBS Face the Nation, Clinton was asked if Barack Obama's plan to increase the number allowed into the United States to 10,000 was enough. The United States had accepted about 2,000 in 2015. And Clinton's statement was, look, we're facing the worst refugee crisis since the end of World War II, and I think the United States has to do more. I would like to see us move from what is a good start with 10,000 to 65,000 and to begin immediately to put into place the mechanism for vetting the people that we take in. A jump to 65,000 would be a 550% increase. Even the left-of-center political fact was forced to rule that Trump's statement was mostly true. Trump said Clinton plans to massively increase emissions of Middle East refugees, including a 500% increase in Syrian refugees coming into our country. I can't. What is the justification? Trump, I think he had a great idea. We find areas, we create safe zones with our military. We create safe zones in Libya, Syria, and all those areas. And we put those refugees there until we can figure out and straighten out their countries. But we create safe zones for them to go to. Work within the Middle East. And assist countries over there to take in some of them. And we'll help with the security. What's wrong with that? Isn't that cheaper than sending all them over here and having them blow up and kill our citizens? Because I don't want to hear this, he was an American citizen, he was born here. Because by this terrorist piece of shit's own accord on his Facebook, he was born in Pakistan. Was it a lie? I don't know. Could he have been a citizen because he was given a citizenship? Yeah. That's the moment you plan on making an attack onto U.S. soil, whether you were born here, brought here, forced here, you are no longer an American citizen. It is this just makes me laugh. I flipped over to CNN, which is showing House and 2017 defense spending amendment vote. Huffman of California, amendment number 17 on agreeing to the amendments, and there's a vote. Does any of that make sense? Well, as of right now, it has passed. The fact that we have a president that doesn't give a shit about this country, and he has proven it time and time and time again. His successor in the Democrat Party is out to do the same thing. It's beyond me. It pains me when I say that I think the Democrat Party has turned into a party of traitors and that they're out to destroy the U.S. It pains me because they are U.S. citizens. This is a U.S. party that has been around for centuries. But it wants to destroy everything that is us. That is scary. But we have the White House spokesman saying our country is safer than it was 8 years ago. How can he say that when we had more lone wolf attacks in the past 18 years than we ever had before? So if he's saying it's safer than 8 years ago, why are they pushing gun control? Well, of course, our gun violence is down. But they're contradicting themselves. The president does believe it is important that his successor is somebody who recognizes that our country is safer than it was 8 years ago, that we enhanced our standing around the world, that we strengthen our allies. How the fuck does Josh Earnest say this with a straight face? Our standing around the world is worse than it was ever. The people, maybe a couple of the leaders think highly of us, but the people think we're a fucking joke. They see what this president does, and we see how it's spreading to other countries. The disease that is Obama is spreading to other countries. We haven't strengthened our allies. We've pissed our allies off. We have treated them like shit, while this asshole in the White House has tried to kiss our enemies' asses. And he goes on to say, Josh Earnest does, that we have refined and improved and strengthened our homeland security. Oh, I want to bang my head against the wall. So what is it, for this White House spokesman position, you have to be the biggest fucking liar there is out there? We're the safest. But yet we have to do away with the guns because we are getting attacked constantly, and we need to stop them from attacking us. But you're saying we're the safest. We've strengthened Homeland Security. You contradict yourself, you jackass. The American people do face a question about whether or not they want to build on that progress. Yeah, because, let's see, we want to build on bringing in more Muslims, putting more extremists into positions of power, more destruction of the American way. Or do we want to put up a wall to the south and start protecting the country? Kicking people out of positions that shouldn't be there, that do not have the country's interest at heart. That is the choice we have. Continue on this path of the destruction of the United States or the rebuilding of the United States. Ernest is one of the biggest fucking liars I've ever seen in my life. How he sleeps at night knowing that he is part of the destruction of this once great country. That he is culpable in helping protect the people that killed our citizens. He is helping to protect the killer that went on a murderous rampage in Orlando. He is helping to protect that. You have Homeland Security Secretary Jen Johnson, or however, speaking on Tuesday, said the FBI has hundreds, if not thousands, of open investigations going on. But we're the safest. We are the safest. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio and ICRN Network. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and trying to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to join the chat conversation, just go to shrmedia.com, click on the chat room button, join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast, go to reaver.one, that is REAVER, click on the live stream, and don't forget to hit subscribe, people. And if you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to reaver.one again and click on the Reaver store. So a video has been released by ISIS. And And it goes, the video warns, as long as Islamic State forces in Syria and Iraq are under attack by the U.S. and its allies, ISIS will continue its strike on American soil. ISIS says it is ready to target major cities in the United States. The warning came in a video published this week by ISIS supporters in the wake of the Orlando massacre, which the organization said it carried out. The infidels of Crusade America will no longer have security or comfort, says the narrator. New York, Orlando, Washington, and other cities will not feel safe and comfortable. The films explain this will remain the case for as long as American and allied forces continue their assault on ISIS fighters in Syria and Iraq and everywhere. Victory is forthcoming, the film tells viewers. ISIS is losing ground in its stranglehold of Syria and Iraq, but remain a force to be reckoned with both in its self-declared state and caliphate and also overseas. Let me see if I can pull it up for at least the audio. We're not done, people. We're nowhere near done. It is just beginning. It is literally just beginning. This is nothing that we're going to have more. Sorry, I'm really... What the heck? Damn, I can't find. He just posted it like 4 minutes ago. And it's not up on his page, which it should be. Weird. There it is. Let me see if I get the... Let me push a couple buttons. Sorry, it's taking me a few minutes. I kind of didn't expect to do this, so...
سنأتي بذبح وموت بخوف وصمت نشق العرى فشلتم جهارا فذوقوا الخسارى وعودوا.
They're talking about in 2001 the original attack, then 2011 Obama saying that the attacks were done with and how they went on. And it's just going over kind of like how the shooter in Orlando was successful and all that. One of the Islamic State lines set out to restore the glory of the Ummah and avenge the deaths of Muslims.
It's been reported that Mateen made calls to 911 this morning in which he stated his allegiance to the leader of the Islamic State.
بدأت القتال.
أمريكا الصليبية الكافرة المجرمة من أشد الكفار حربا على الإسلام وأهله، فقد قتلت الملايين من المسلمين في العالم السلاح والجنود والمال للرافضة وملاحدة الأفراد والصحوات.
Sorry about that. I'll check it over and try to play it tomorrow. Something a little bit better. We are not safer than we were 8 years ago. We are not looking good, people, right now. We need to know what the enemy is. And this playing around, jerking around, making excuses for our attackers. Yeah, that's the exact website. Yeah, thank you, Jenna. I appreciate it. This is why words mean a lot. Because we need to point out who our enemy is and attack. This pussyfooting, trying to do shock and awe may have worked in Bosnia and may have worked against Saddam Hussein. Those are countries. ISIS is not. Shock and awe is not going to. Shock and awe is not going to do anything. We need to hit this problem head on. And we need to hit it hard. I can't understand, give a logical answer, as I said earlier. I can't give a logical answer of why we have politicians that won't accept what's going on. The only logic I could see is if they want to destroy this country. There's no other common reason, logical reason why. I'm at a huge loss. Our country's going down the tubes like never before. Even CNN, CNN's Burnett, member of Orlando's shooters mosque, worried that there could be more at the mosque. And Kel, if you're working or listening, chat went down. So we had to reload chat. Burnett said, I was at that mosque yesterday. A member there who knew them both said he didn't know they were radicalized. He now worried that there could be others in the same mosque. As you know, it's a very small Muslim community there in Fort Pierce area. Are you worried that there are others? And, of course, the representative Al Grayson, he's a Democrat. He's a lying, cheating piece of crap who Burnett was interviewing, responded, well, there's no evidence of that at this time, but we're counting on the FBI and local law enforcement to do a very thorough job. And they are doing a very, very thorough job. They're speaking to anybody who steps forward and anybody likely had any contact with him. They're going through his phone records. They're going through his social media account. They're doing basically contacting everybody, and that would, of course, include people at his mosque. If we would never have stopped the programs that we had going, and I'm not talking to NSA listening to everybody, but these programs that were watching mosque that had radicalized people in it. But no, our benevolent leader decided to scrub all that information and stop all those programs as it might offend certain people. He doesn't care that he has offended and endangered millions of Americans. The Democrats don't care about offending Americans, but they're more worried about foreigners being upset because we want to protect our country. As why are they doing this killing? Because they think they are protecting their countries. They're not worried about offending us. In fact, they have no worry murdering us. But our benevolent Democrat leaders want to see us dead. They're trying to disarm us. I know I'll be just another tinfoil hat nut job, conservative nut job. You know, when I see those things, that means that you're trying to discredit because you have no other way to argue the points. So you just discredit the people. When the left start putting labels and name calling, it's a badge of honor for me because I know I've won the argument. FBI is also probing California roots of the Orlando terrorist Palestine wife. California seems to be a hotbed for extremists lately with those relaxed laws they have and those strict gun control laws. They know California is an easy target because of the Democrat Party. You know what, Jenna? I just might make a tinfoil hat and wear it on the show just for the fun of it. I find it funny. Every time that they want to discredit something they can't discredit, oh, that's tinfoil hat. That's conspiracy thinking. Well, we have a president who's doing nothing to stop any of these terror attacks. He's playing tiddlywinks with our enemy. He's doing more to protect him. We have our military coming back saying, yes, we are warning ISIS before we go on bombing runs to let them know we are going to bomb that area. And that order is coming from above. We have a traitor. Well, the whole Democrat fucking party is nothing but traitors. They stand against everything this country is about. But as I said, there's an FBI probe into the California roots of the Orlando terrorist Palestine wife. The FBI has visited the California children's home. The Palestine-American wife of the terrorist who killed 49 and wounded over 53 inside the Pulse gay nightclub in Orlando, Florida, early Sunday morning. Something's not right here because his current wife is not from the United States. She was brought in from the Middle East. This article's a little bit off, so I'm not going to go through this article. It's the countries are getting attacked, and the leaders, these left-leaning nut jobs, are too scared to protect their people. And the Dutch Freedom Party leader, Geert Wilders, has slammed the French government for failing to prevent the Monday evening Paris terror killings and has squarely placed the blame at the feet of Islam. The veteran anti-Islamization and counter-mass migration politician who, despite being an elected member of Dutch Parliament and former MEP, is presently being tried in court for his views, spoke to Breitbart London in the wake of 2 bloody days. Speaking of France's inability to track and monitor Islamization, Mr. Wilder said of yesterday's attack, the Magnanville assassin was a known jihadist. He had earlier been convicted, and after serving his sentence, been released. He should have been robbed of his French nationality and expelled. Mr. Wilder is a vocal critic of the establishment's quiet acceptance of the Islamization of Western society. Clearly unafraid to focus directly on the root cause of many terror killings in Europe, Mr. Wilder said Ramadan is the deadliest time of the year. We should acknowledge that Islam is the problem. Islam and freedom are incompatible. We must de-Islamize our Western society. The 25-year-old killer told police and wider world through his Facebook Live podcast that he had performed the killing in honor of Ramadan. And I see Dipshit is landing in Orlando as I do my broadcast. He was supposed to land at 12:30. Echoing United States Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump, who Mr. Wilder has supported since the earliest day of his candidacy, the Dutch politician called for strong leadership. We must close our borders to every immigrant from Islamic countries, every asylum seeker, every terrorist. It is time for new and brave leaders who adopt these policies. God damn, I'm glad to see there is a few sane people left in this world. A few people that aren't afraid to stand up to this killing group. The Freedom Party leader is not the only member of the populist right in Europe who has spoken out in strong terms about attacks. French Front National Party leader Marine Le Pen took to social media in the early hours to condemn the umpteenth attack by Islamic radicals and said that surely was now the time to start the relentless fight against Islamism. She said the government does not protect the French. The latest statement reported by French Le Pen said the socialist government had failed to lead the war against terrorism. She remarked the best way to lose the war is to not to lead. Wherever the circumstance, the French government does not lead. Our democracies have perfect means of defense. We must recognize the threat, get the diagnosis right, accept the ideology, battle against Islamic fundamentalists, and use the means at our disposal to protect us. On these 4 points, the authorities fail. Also urging decisive action against Islamic terrorism are the rapidly growing hipster right street protest movement, the identitarians. Speaking to Breitbart London, the leader of the founding Austrian branch, referred to a protest the group staged on Saturday in which one of the supporters was hospitalized by radical left-wing counter-protesters. Remarking that Europe is under attack, Sellner linked the rise of the right-wing movement as the identitarians. Hopefully, people, it's time that we can wake up. This does not mean that we wipe out and we're against the Muslim religion. We are against this extremists that are looking to do us harm. We know who they are. We know where they are. But yet we refuse to take the war to them. We are allowing them to take the war onto our soils and kill our citizens. The left does not have the balls to protect. They're a bunch of tree-hugging pussies. They don't have the ability to protect our country. Obama has been a failed policy since the beginning. And it's time that we stand up, turn this country around, and get this country back to where we can protect ourselves and help protect smaller countries that can't protect against these attacks. We need to take the attack, I've said it time and time again, so hard, so nasty against ISIS and any of these terrorist groups. Hit them so goddamn hard that they'll never want to step up against us again. Hit them hard, fast. Stop playing tiddlywinks. And start attacking. We have a country that doesn't have the balls to do it right now. And Hillary Clinton doesn't have the balls to protect us. She has some big balls. Yeah, especially since she's out there screaming that those underneath FBI investigation should not own a weapon. Well, those under FBI investigation should not be running for any political position, especially the presidency. Well, it's getting that time. We got about a minute and a half. I want to thank everybody. I say every day because I mean it truly. I am honored. I feel blessed that so many people tune in to listen to me every day. And hopefully I am getting information out there that is helpful. And we need to stand up against what is going on because it is not right. I will be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.